Hey, Purse. Let me ask you a question. You and we're manly men, right? I mean, I know that I sound like a prepubescent adolescent, and you're more of an eater than a fighter. But we're manly, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Good talk. Good talk. Appreciate it. Okay, on that note, let's make something nauseatingly cute. Hey everybody, my name is Tim. I am the Dizzy Daddy, and today we're going to be doing something with that Anko we made last time. Yes, the sweet red bean paste that doesn't look so hot by itself. Well, today we are going to pretty it up, and we're going to make a springtime Japanese favorite dessert, the Ichigo Daifuku. Now, for those of you who don't know, a Daifuku is basically a mochi, sweet glutinous rice dumpling with a little ball of Anko inside. And of course an Ichigo, which means strawberry, Ichigo Daifuku just means there's a strawberry inside. It's a beautiful cross section and it tastes really good too. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. It's really simple. It just takes a little bit of practice, but that's part of the fun. Okay, let's go. All right, let's take a look at the ingredients we're gonna need. Now, first and foremost, we're going to need something to make the mochi. And what I've got here is something called mochiko. It's a sweet glutinous rice flour. And if you look online at Daifuku recipes, you'll see that there's two different things you can make Daifuku with. One is mochiko, and one is something called shiratamako. And this is where I sort of diverge from some people. Because people who make this will tell you that shiratamako is the way to go. And I will say this, it yields a more bouncy, more sort of delicate dumpling or mochi. But here's the problem. If you live in North America like I do, it is just about impossible to find here. So you could get it online, but it's about 2 to 3 times as expensive as this stuff. Now they say that if you make it with mochiko, it's gonna be a little bit harder, it's gonna be not as tasty, it's gonna be, you know what? I don't know. Is the shiratamako one maybe a bit better? Maybe, yeah. And if you are a Daifuku expert, or you're making them for some special occasion, then yeah. But you can find this at any Asian supermarket for like $2.50. And if you're like me and like to do this with your kids or whatnot, basically it's a cheap way to practice this over and over and over again. And once you become awesome at it, then you can order the shiratamako. But honestly, I don't think there's a huge difference in taste. People will have you believe this makes a super tough Daifuku. It's not true. You just have to consume them within a day or two. If you leave them for a few days, yeah, it's gonna get a little tough. But this is the way to go for now while you're learning. So now that my rant's over, let's go through the ingredients. So we're gonna need Ichigo or strawberries, of course. I'm just gonna do 4 today. I'll do 4 with the strawberry inside and 4 just normal Daifukus with just the Anko inside. You're gonna need 1 cup of mochiko, half a cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and of course, Anko. And I'll leave the link in the description, and you can always go and make that. So let's prep the filling. We're gonna take about a tablespoon-ish of Anko, and we're just gonna roll those into balls. Okay, so that'll be for our normal Daifuku. So I'm just gonna make 4 of those. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make 4 more, but kind of leave them sort of like discs, kind of like we're gonna make tortillas. Okay, now let's prep our strawberries. I'm using kind of smaller ones. What you're gonna do is you're gonna very carefully take one of your discs of Anko there and just shape it and pull it over the strawberry. Now you don't have to go right to the very top here. It kind of leaves a nice cross section where there's just red at the top. If you do it like this, you can totally encase it, but that's just personal preference. I prefer not to do that. gonna put a little bit of wrap on these. Just leave them in the fridge until it's time to use them. So I'm gonna take the half cup of sugar we got here, I'm gonna pour it into our 1 cup of water. And we're gonna dissolve this. You don't have to get it completely, just dissolve most of it. We're gonna put our mochiko into a microwavable bowl. And we're gonna pour our water and sugar into the mochiko and mix it up. So let's use a whisk. Get that smooth. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna microwave it in increments. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in 1 minute at a time. So I'm gonna go put it in for 1 minute, then I'll bring it back here and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, that was 1 minute in the microwave. Bring sort of the outside edges. It's firmed up a little bit on the outside. You'll see that it's thickened up, but it's still kind of like Elmer's glue. We're gonna go 1 more minute. Okay, I have finished the second round. So this was in the microwave for 1 more minute. Now we're back and you can really feel that it's stiffening up now, okay? So you gather it from the sides, bring it in, and it's become really thick now. But we're still gonna go in maybe once, maybe 2 more times into the microwave, but now the length of time is gonna be 30 seconds. We are done round number 3. That was in for 30 seconds, and now it's really starting to stiffen up. So we're gonna incorporate it. 1 more round of 30 seconds. And while that's in there, this is potato starch, or you can use corn starch. It doesn't matter which one, whichever one you have. And we're just gonna prep our area here. Make sure you have a nice, clean, smooth surface to work on. And we're gonna get our Anko filling from the fridge. Okay, that was the 4th round. We're gonna do 1 more round, but this last one is just gonna be 20 seconds. We are back from the last and final microwave round. That was 20 seconds. So what I did was 2 rounds of 1 minute, then 2 rounds of 30 seconds, and 1 round of 20 seconds. And it'll vary depending on the strength of your microwave. It has to be gradual, because if you cook it all in one go, it'll be uneven and it just won't have as pleasant a texture. So what you're looking for, whether you do it as many times as I did, or maybe a little more, or maybe a little less, is you want it to be almost like a loose dough now. We're gonna turn it out onto our surface, and this is hot, so be careful. A little bowl of water here, a tea towel. So, we're gonna take a little bit of potato or cornstarch, whatever you're using, and just dust the top. Okay, this will make it easier to work with. And we'll just kind of gather it here. We're gonna take, you can either take a spatula, or I've got one of these pastry scraper thingies. Sort of dip that in your potato starch. I'm gonna cut it once. Okay, then cut that twice. And then cut each of those in half. Once you've got them divided and powdered with cornstarch or potato starch, cover them up so they don't dry out. I'm going to clean up this area a bit. Now we'll move on to actually making these things. Now these are still warm. You gotta do this while they are warm. Otherwise it's really hard to manipulate them. So let's start with the plain ones. And because they're a bit smaller, I'm gonna take, if there's any, they should be sort of even, but if there are any that are a little bit smaller, then grab one of those. Okay, and make sure that the bottom side of it, or the side that's in your palm, is starched up. Okay, maybe that side too, but especially the outside. And then we're gonna kind of pull it into almost like a disc. We're gonna put a ball of our filling there and then just pull it up and over. Sort of gather it, pinch it, Smooth it. And there's the first one. Now let's do one of the Ichigo ones. So let's take a bigger blob here. Make sure that's starched up. Okay. Kind of form it into a bit of a disc. And I'm going to take one of this very gently. Put it here, then pull, pull, pull and pinch. Pull and pinch, pull and pinch. Okay, and then give this a bit of a shaping. Okay, and that's a little bit of a bigger guy. But the rest of these are going to be a bit smaller. I'm going to finish these up and then we'll see what we got. Now those are complete, so I'm going to cover these up and I'm going to clean up this mess, and then we'll plate them and get that cross section. Dust our knife with a little bit of the starch so it doesn't stick, and then there we go. Looking nice and handsome. Now let's eat somebody. I'm gonna go with this guy right here. The strawberry in the middle is so fresh. Such a classic dessert. And there you go, the Ichigo Daifuku or Strawberry Daifuku. It is beautiful, it is fun to make, it is delicious. Once again, this is something that you can try making with your kids, and you gotta be patient. It takes a while to get used to it, and even like mine compared to the ones my mom makes look kind of like garbage, to be honest. But they're serviceable, right? And it takes a while to get used to it and to know just how much to pull without tearing it and all that stuff. But again, if you use the mochiko, it's cheap and you can find it at any Asian supermarket, and sometimes in the Asian aisle at a regular supermarket. It's good to try out with your kids. It's really fun, and you can switch it up. You can experiment. There's actually a recipe on the side, I think, of some of these boxes for chocolate mochi. You can try replacing the water with Kool-Aid. You can of course put food coloring in there so they're prettier. You can do all kinds of stuff, and it's the sort of fun indoor activity that's perfect for right now when we're all in isolation. So try that with your kids. Use the mochiko just as a cost-effective and easy to get alternative to the shiratamako, and then when you become an expert, you can order the shiratamako online if you just want to see what the difference is. Thanks for joining me again. If you like this video, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell and the like button, and we'll see you next time with something else. Take care. It's hours after the fact, but once we start playing with mochi, it's hard to stop. And there's a green one. All that is just a bit of food coloring, that's all. I will put the pictures up nice and pretty on my Instagram. You'll be able to see those there.